name is Boxiest, and today we're going to continue the What If series. What if events had gone differently? And in this What If, we're going to change the history of Cobra Kai. What if Robbie fought Miguel during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3? So in this timeline, the Sika takia will still resume in the valley. Kreese would still want to change his ways. Kreese would still arrive in the valley, and he would want to talk to Tori. He would apologize for failing her and Quan at the tournament, and he would still want to say his goodbye. Kreese would also want to apologize to Johnny, and the interaction between Johnny and Kreese would stay the same, and that interaction would happen a lot earlier in this timeline. Eventually, the Sika takia would resume. Gunther would announce that Cobra Kai had chosen a replacement. He would announce that Miguel would join Tori on Team Cobra Kai, and that Johnny would be their new sensei. Johnny would want a backup plan in case Robbie didn't defeat Axel, so this is why Johnny would retake Cobra Kai, and the tournament would carry on, and Robbie would still fight Axel in the boys semifinals, so Robbie and Axel would still fight, and during the first round, Robbie would still land the first point. Everyone would be surprised, and they would begin to cheer, but this will make Axel mad, and he would begin to adapt, so Axel would still get 5 points. Sensei would get mad that Axel got hit, and he would want Axel to get more aggressive, so the fight would continue, and they would still each get 5 more points. So Sensei Wolf would still want Axel to break Robbie's leg, so Axel would still try to break Robbie's leg in this timeline, but in this timeline, Robbie wouldn't get his leg caught by Axel, so Robbie and Axel would continue to fight. Robbie would use a combination of offense and defense, and he would remember all his training, so Robbie would be able to land more points, and he would eventually tie the score. Everyone in the crowd would cheer, and Robbie would eventually attempt a flying tornado kick, and he would be able to hit Axel, so Robbie would get a knockdown, and he would get another 10 points. The timer would run out, so Robbie would defeat Axel 21-11. Everyone in the crowd would cheer, and Miyagi would celebrate. Sensei would be mad that Axel lost, and he would still tell him that he was ashamed to be a sensei, but in this timeline Axel wouldn't stand up to Wolf. Those events would continue. The girls' semifinals would begin. Sam and Tori would have another rematch. Daniel and Chozo would coach Sam, and Johnny and Robbie would coach Tori, and they would both be using a combination of offense and defense, and they would be evenly matched. Both Miyagi and Cobra Kai would get many points, but in the end Tori would defeat Sam, and she would get the upper hand. The girls' finals would begin. Tori and Zara would fight, and Zara would still get the upper hand in the first round, and she would still be ahead by 5 points. Tori would still be distracted, and she wouldn't be focused, but this is when Robbie would still tell her that he loves her, and this would get Tori back on track, so the fight would resume. Tori would continue fighting, and she would get 3 points, and much like in the original timeline, Tori would get 2 knockdowns, and a knockout. Tori would still defeat Zara, and she would be the girls' world champion. The boys' finals would begin. Miguel and Robbie would fight, and much like in the original timeline, Robbie would still be able to land some points on Miguel. The first round would end. The fight would continue, but Miguel would get more aggressive, and they would both be using a combination of offense and defense. So the second round would end. The final round would begin, and Miguel would decide to hold back. He would realize that winning the Sika takia meant more to Robbie. So in this timeline, Robbie would defeat Miguel, and Robbie and Tori would be champions of the Sika takia, and they would stand alongside each other, just like they said they would at the beginning of the season. But in this timeline, Cobra Kai would have the most overall points, so Cobra Kai would still win the Sika takia, and the Cobra Kais would celebrate. The season was still on the same way. Johnny would continue to run Cobra Kai. Robbie and Tori would still get their career opportunity for Micron branding, and those events would stay the same. Even though Miyagi didn't win the Sika takia, they would still get many students. And that is where I'm going to end this What If. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think would have happened if Robbie fought Miguel during the events of Cobra Kai Season 6? Let me know in the comments below. YouTube lets me know that the majority of you are not subscribed, so if you guys could subscribe, that would be much appreciated. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. And I'll see you guys next time.